Hello, good afternoon to everyone. I hope you are doing well, having a great day, and today is day to study more of the verbs, more verb tenses, more expressions. But finally, we are no longer talking about the verb should, but we are still talking about advice, recommendations, right? And in this way, there are more expressions which can be used to tell someone that something is advisable or preferable to something. Okay, so let's get going and start our study of today. Well, there is an expression, a verb expression, which is had better. I don't know, maybe you have never heard of it, but it's very used in English. When you say had better, it means that something is advisable, that you recommend something to do. If you don't do this, there will be a lot of trouble, right? So it's advisable that you go this way, because if you don't, something bad might happen, okay? For example, let's suppose you go to work, right, during the day, and then you have lunchtime. Your lunchtime lasts 1 hour, and then you spend too much time during lunch talking to your friends, and then you realize that you might be late. So your friend tells you, you had better get going. Right? You had better get going, or else you will be late for work, right? So is that a consequence? It's advisable because your lunch time is already over, okay? Another example, I had better study for the test. I will have a very decisive test tomorrow that I need to pass through this exam, or else I will fail the examination and will have to repeat the test again, to study all over. So I had better study for the test. It's advisable, it's recommendable. So pay attention to this expression, had better. Had better has a contracted form. You'd better. You had better. Okay? It has the same meaning. She had better go to the supermarket. Because they are running out of groceries, okay? The supplies at home are almost over, and she has to go to the supermarket, so she had better go to the supermarket. You had better go to the doctor. So it's an advice, a piece of advice. It's something that you should do, right? It has, how can I say, it has a similar meaning of should, but it's not exactly the same. We will see the difference soon enough, okay? In this video still. What's the negative of you had better? I had better not. So pay attention to the negative form, or I'd better not. It's very specific. because you don't contract the verb had. No, it has nothing to do with had. So you say, I had better not, you had better not, they'd better not. It's the same thing, okay? Let's think of something. Somebody asks you if you are going to the party. Are you going to the party? I had better not, because I need to wake up early. So there is something I have to do in the next day. So my friend asks me whether I'm going to the party or not, and say I had better not. I can go to the party, but it's not advisable though. If I go to the party, it might be bad for me. It may be bad for me the next day, right? So it's easy. There is a tag question you can use. For example, I'd better finish this report today. Hadn't I? Tag questions are expressions, small questions that you put in the end of the sentence to reinforce the meaning. So if you say, I had better, the tag question is hadn't. Okay? This is the only exception, because in general, you don't use, it's wrong to use hadn't here, for example. You don't say, I hadn't better. No, you say, I had better not, I'd better not. And when you use a tag question, right, tag question, tag questions, usually, they come, if we have an affirmative sentence, the tag question comes in the negative, right? And vice versa. It's the same thing. So you use hadn't I, hadn't you, in such specific ways. What is the meaning? You know that the verb had, in general, expresses idea in the past, right? I had gone to the US, now I'm not there anymore. It expresses, in general, past ideas, but as you may have already noticed here, it's what we can conclude from this. Is this sentence expressing an idea in the past? No. It's not an idea in the past. Had better expresses ideas in the future, or maybe in the present as well. Present, future, but it's not the simple past. So just pay attention not to mix up the ideas here, to make mistakes, because had better is not past tense. It doesn't express an idea in the past. It expresses idea in the future, or in the present itself. Another thing that is very visible here, you may notice that when you use expressions had better, you don't use the preposition to join had better with the main verb. It's wrong to use the preposition to, okay? So, for example, you say, I had better study. Not, I had better to study. I had better study. You had better get. I'd better finish. Okay? So, pay attention. Don't make foolish mistakes regarding this. I'd better talk to her to avoid misunderstanding. I had somebody told me that a friend of mine is upset with me, right? Because of something she heard, right? She heard a gossip. Somebody told her a lie about me, that I told something bad about her, and then she's upset. And so I had better talk to her to avoid misunderstanding. I have to clarify my ideas to her, okay? So I had better talk. So what sums up? Had better is used to give advice or to express advisable actions that you have to do. No, you don't have to do, but it's advisable, because if you don't do that, something bad may happen, okay? And had better is used to express ideas in the future and in the present as well. The negative, had better not. The contracted form, I'd better, you'd better, he'd better, she'd better, and so forth. And just understand that had better doesn't express an idea in the past. Had expressed ideas in the past, yes, we know, from the simple past tense, from the past perfect, right? So the past simple, the past perfect, okay, we have the verb had, but it's different here. Had better expresses an idea. It's advisable that you do something in the future or near the present tense, okay? All right, the next video, we will continue talking about it, but seeing the difference, because you know, had better and should, they have similar meanings in a way, but there are specific ideas that you have to understand about it. It's not quite the same, okay? So have fun until the next video.